always think about think about partners, because when you're in a relationship, everybody's always looking to blame somebody else. It's never my fault, it's your fault because you upset me, right? So how do you, if you can't live your life with people and expect never to have arguments? I mean, you could, but there's no growth in that, and it becomes boring and mundane. I know.
No fire.
There's no fire there. And fire, if it's done in the light way, you're constantly feeding into your partner, right? You're back and forth feeding into that energy. So you want that fire there, and so sometimes it's going to get too hot. Now, in the bedroom, that's amazing. But in the day-to-day, if it's disagreements, that's not amazing. So how do you recognize when it becomes toxic? When you allow someone else's energy to affect your state of being, it now becomes toxic because it's inside of you. Because we attract, okay? So if you were to say something to me that bothered me, whether it offended me or pissed me off or got me riled up because we disagree, whatever. If I allow your words to penetrate my third eye chakra is where we transmit and receive energy, okay? Your words, your thoughts. If you're a psychic person, you're going to be pulling in energy psychically, because, like my mom would say, I can read minds, You're really reading the vibrations. You can, it's like energetic braille, read the thoughts. If I allow your opinion or judgment of me to affect me, and I let it get in here, then it gets in my head. You ever have someone do that to you? We're like, fuck you, Shay. I hate that beard. I hate the way your mustache curls up.
Yeah, I've gotten some of that.
I think I told you that, I don't...
Yeah, no, the very first time you saw me, actually, you're like, I hate it.
I don't like that mustache. It's growing on me, but if I'm going to have my opinion, okay? Whether or not I choose to be kind, polite, or whatever, or just in jest, right? Say, oh, you have a mustache. Clearly, it has shifted since yesterday. Whatever, maybe this is you becoming more sassy. You ought not allow my opinion to affect you. Clearly you haven't, because you're still sporting it 3 weeks later. It's growing on me, right? At the end of the day, you're the one that has to fucking wear the mustache. So who cares what I think? And so that's the first step. And I always tell my clients this, I don't care what people think. I do care how they feel. It's different, okay?
So how did my mustache make you feel?
Your mustache made me feel concerned. Concerned, because it's not true to your nature. In other words, where you've been, it's different. And it's like, are you becoming a new person to me? Why? This is concerning to me, because what's wrong with the old person? What's wrong with the old ways? Sometimes people don't handle change very well. Yeah. But it's not really me concerned about you changing. It's just me noticing, oh, you're changing. It's different. All right. Today I don't like it. We'll see how tomorrow feels. Yeah. At the end of the day, who cares what I think? It's your opinion. But let's say that it did sit in here, and you're like, you hear it over and over again. I don't like your mustache. And then it just sits in here.
Sitting there shaking with a razor.
Shaking, right? It's like judging you, and it's in here. We all know that feeling, because it gets in your head, and you can't sleep at night over time. You've got this opinion looming in here. Well, what does she think? I'm not cool? Am I not cool enough to have this mustache? Am I not machismo enough to have this mustache? What else doesn't she like about me? Right? You're letting my judgment bother you, and you shouldn't, because I really don't care about the mustache. I care if you feel like you're not good enough with no facial hair, with this mustache, with that, whatever. That's what I care about. It just didn't come out that way. It like hit me. Like, whoa!
It was unexpected.
It was unexpected. Probably how it feels when I get my lips done and people are like, whoa, your lips are too big right now. Why are you changing yourself? So what happens is, it's interesting, that energy penetrates your third eye chakra and it sinks. Okay? Here is your perspective. So it changes the way you think, because you start giving a shit about what I think. Okay? And eventually, if you don't shift it out by saying, I don't care what people think, right? I care about how people feel, and I know she likes me and doesn't give a shit about my mustache, she just notices a change, and I'm okay with that. I can live with that, right? But most people don't do that.
Right, yeah, I mean, I know so many people that
Why'd you do that?
can't let
Why'd
it
you
go.
say they can't let it go? So what happens, that toxic energy, because it's my opinion, now becomes toxic within your energetic field. And because it's heavy, because it doesn't belong to you, if it's your truth, it's light and it lifts us up, right? If it's heavy, it sinks. So now not only does my judgment and my opinion affect how you think, now it sinks and it affects your throat chakra, how you speak your truth. Am I not cool? Am I, weak because I feel like I need this mustache to be different, better, unique? Maybe I don't feel like I'm different enough and I need to find that somewhere else. And then it sinks and it affects your heart chakra, how you love yourself. Well, I just want people to love me. I want people to like, I want to belong somewhere. I want to be cool. I think they're cool. Why don't they think I'm cool? Right? You see how that obsessive energy, and it sinks because it's heavy and it affects how you make decisions. That's your solar plexus chakra. Okay. So now it affects, should I shave it? Should I not? No, I'm not going to shave it because I like it. I like who I am. Do I like who I am? No, if I shave it, then they win. They win. I don't want them to win. So then it sinks. Then it affects your orange chakra, and that's sacral, what is sacred to you, your passion, your desire, right? And then ultimately it affects your root chakra energy, which is, to me, one of the most important ones because it's who you are, your sense of belonging. It's I am. Right? Your mental, your emotional, your physical, your spiritual, your financial well-being. All of that because all I did was say, I don't like your mustache. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason why I didn't like your mustache. I'm not going to say it right now. I'll tell you later. I don't want to be offensive. And it has nothing to do with you. Right? The mustache looks fine. Matter of fact, he gets a lot of compliments on it because he's unique, and so he needs a unique mustache, I suppose. If I grew my mustache out, maybe I would curl it up too. So what we want to do is get back to the very beginning. I don't care what people think. If you can truly encompass that perspective, then a lot of this toxic energy that you're allowing to come into you won't come into you. You won't allow it because you'll recognize, hey, everybody has an opinion. I'm not going to start doing this, that, or the other just because everybody else does. That's what makes me unique to me. I'm going to give a shit what I like. And that's what the becoming is. What do you like?
Right. It's
Right.
actualizing yourself. Right?
Actualizing
it's
yourself.
Being who you are.
Genuinely being, everybody talks about that. Being genuine, finding their authentic self. Well, the only way to do that is to, put on your boots and deep dive into the soul, right? You got to kick your own ass. Because what you're doing is you're kicking out all that energy that has up to this point become or contributed to you becoming who you are. What is yours? What is theirs? And when I work with people, that is my specialty, that is my gift. Finding out the person that you are right now, you're amazing. Could you be better? Absolutely. How? I need to get all this bullshit that's inside of you that doesn't belong to you out. All this toxic energy out of you. Because when it's inside of you, this energy that belongs to people, it's toxic, it's not yours. So it's constantly trying to fight its way out, right? And that's why people start feeling isolated. They don't want to go out because they intuitively know that they're going to exchange energy with people. So a lot of people who absorb energy too much from people, they become isolated and they start to hate people, right? And it doesn't make sense. You know, you cannot exist in life if you hate people.
There's a couple of different ways people can become that way, right? Like some people are just, they lack self-confidence, right? They're not in their own skin. They don't know who they are. Other people,
because they have too much of other people's energy inside of them.
Right. But then there's like a different end of the spectrum. The people who have had others do harm to them. Right? And they've had trauma,
Well, that's still the same thing.
Is it? Like,
yes.
So,
when someone traumatizes you, there's an exchange. So they take your truth and you take their fear, their darkness. Okay? When a parent abuses a child, you ever see parents lose their shit on their kids because their kids are being normal, 5-year-old, excited. They get excited, they're playing with each other, they're joyful. And then you have that angry parent that comes home and can't handle the vibration, the noise, and so they shut them down. I see this all the time when I'm working on people. That memory of that kid walking into the room and they're, excited, and then the parent shuts them down. Be quiet. Go to your room. You're making too much noise. Quit acting like that. And they do that because they believe that that's what society wants, these well-behaved, perfect little children. And I'm like, okay, it's like a puppy, right? They have energy, a lot of energy. They need to get it out. So you could go take them to the park. You could go engage with them and play tickle torture. That'll burn them out a little bit. There's so many different ways but to kill their spirit, the color of who they are, that's wrong.
There's a lot of people out there that have had their spirit killed.
Right. And so the exchange is, you're all sunshiny, and your parent comes home, beats the shit out of you, and beats that spirit out of you, and now that part of you is attached to the parent, and now you have their heaviness because their darkness. Who knows why they lost their temper with you? It could be because they had a bad day. It could be because they didn't get the raise that they wanted. It could be because they're just angry because they had a parent that did the same exact thing, and most of the time that's what it is. So when I work on people, I work with colors. I work with sound. I work with vibration, all different types of energy. It depends because everybody's affected differently. When a person gets in a car accident and the last thing they hear are brakes and a big bang, and then now all of a sudden they have this trauma, they're afraid of driving, or loud noises even, that's a thing. So if I can go into the soul space and remove that energy, they can heal from those moments. I can't make memories go away, but I can separate the trauma from the memory. So now you don't get triggered anymore. Does that make sense? Yeah. That is how you become who you're not your true natural self if you have anxiety driving because you had an accident and that traumatized you. You are not yourself if you're trying to function in life and you are unable to be vibrant and have that childlike excitement and curiosity because your dad beat it out of you when you were little, because he was angry because of something that had nothing to do with you, okay? If I can remove this toxic energy from you, you can become that natural, you can get into that natural state of being. Now, what happens when you do that? Magic. Because now, if you have that energy flowing through you, now you can go on road trips again and not be afraid to drive. You can go downtown and have fun with your girls. Jade used to be horrified of driving. Now she drives us all over Houston, anywhere, San Antonio. I have clients that really need that childlike energy because they're older and they need to spark joy in their relationship with these partners that that they have, and they love them, but the fire has burned out. How do we get that fire back? If I can restore that childlike energy within you, then you can play. And there's nothing like playtime with your partner of 20, 30 years that can just spark energy and fun, right? Yeah, what's the point in having a pool if you're, in your 50s and you don't go skinny dip in the middle of the night once your kids go to sleep? Yeah, they might wake up and see you. Even better. Even better. I would love for my kids to see me skinny dipping with my partner. Not right now, maybe later. Let's give it 10 more years. Do you see what I'm saying, though? I mean, do you enjoy when your parents show love for each other?
Yeah, that's something my parents did.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
Yeah.
But
Right?
yeah.
But if
They
you
were
grow
affectionate
up, if you grow up in a family where there's so much toxicity, nobody shows love because they don't know how, because everybody was so concerned about what everybody else thinks, and so they don't want to public displays of affection, or they don't want their kids to think that sex exists if they like hold hands or show affection, or they just fucking hate each other, but they're stuck with each other because one partner needed the other one because they had good financial standing, and the other partner needed the other one because they can tolerate all the bad behavior. And the other person, there's a lot of toxic reasons why people stay together. So my work helps restore people to their natural state of being. And once we can get you closer to that state, that's when the magic happens in your life. You're no longer operating on lies. Because that's what it is. When you have everybody else's energy influencing you, that's when you're living a lie. And so people create a lifetime on that. How many people went to college studying what was hot? Look at Brooke. She went to college and studied medical something. It's so boring. I don't even remember what the name is. She doesn't even like that shit. She doesn't even like that shit. She should have gone into music. She should have gone into like music and like managing musicians. Like she should have done something that had to do with that kind of stuff because she loves that stuff. I don't know. Anyway, but she didn't. She did something that was hot. Oh, got to get in the medical field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the promise of a paycheck, right?
A good paycheck, and her paycheck was aight. But you figure in your lifetime, you split it into thirds. You sleep, you work, and then you have free time. And if you work a lot, man, I would hope that either if money is important to you, you make a lot of money so you can do the things that you really enjoy in your free time. But if you have a career in something that you don't enjoy and you don't make a lot of money out of it, so you can't enjoy your free time, but then you're stuck because you don't know who you are, so you don't know what your true nature is. Well, I don't know what I like to do because my dad beat the shit out of me when I was little, and now I lost that curiosity to become who I was supposed to become, I really liked going into the woods and discovering things. And I remember my sister and I, we would go to the pond and put a bunch of the little tadpoles, and we filled a jar and brought it home. And we were worried that they wouldn't have enough water. So we poured it out into the sink. Little tadpoles. And, tadpoles, some of them have legs because they're starting to transform. So they moved.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure my mom beat the shit out of us, Asian style. And if you're Asian, Asian style. Asians are high achievers. Getting beaten.
No exception.
It's no exception. Now, that could have been so traumatic for me that I don't remember if it's real or if it was a dream. I'd have to ask my sister. That's how traumatic it was to me. I remember it as if it really happened. But my sister and I have never talked about it, and it didn't stick to me. I'm not traumatized by it. I still can think about it, and that was fucking awesome. That was so fun for me. But we stopped doing that. We stopped going down to the river and exploring that kind of stuff. That could have been a career for me, you know?
Going down to the river.
Just being more of a naturalist, being more of a
You wouldn't be so scared of spiders.
no, I'm terrified. I don't want to touch a frog or a tadpole or anything like that, but I used to all the time when I was little. Now I'm like, I like to go to zoos and aquarium. Distance learning. Distance learning. But I was like Mowgli growing up, and we hung out in the woods all the time. So that is how somebody else's energy can affect your state of being. Now, had my mom been someone like, I don't know, who's a natural person?
Natural.
Yeah, someone who, what name is,
Like Bear Grylls?
yeah, like Bear Grylls. Had my mom been Mama Bear Grylls, then maybe I would have gotten involved in like studying reptiles and animals and insects and all that kind of stuff. But instead, I went and did, international business to work for the CIA because my daddy was a Green Beret, and he taught me instead how to properly handle a hand grenade and how to handle a knife. Yeah, how to, shoot a weapon, things like that. So, see, I could have been different. Now I'm having to tap back into that energy. I still don't like bugs. I'm still distance learning. But I recognize, man, I am missing a lot by not being able to go out and, I don't like camping. I don't like being out in the forest without a lot of bug protection. Yeah, that's silly.
So you don't like the limitations that I guess you have.
Yes. Yes, it changed me. Well, it didn't change me. It shifted me a lot. All because of a beating. And all because my mom grew up in a third world country where she grew up in a hut, and so the dirt floors, chickens in and out, I remember, ticks. Shit, I remember waking up one time in Taiwan, and the whole wall was covered in ticks. It was fascinating to me. But I was only 7, so I wasn't too traumatized. That was my first interaction with a tree roach. The roach, they fly.
Big one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They do.
At nighttime, they come out at night, and so it's like, so you're just like, because, you have to pee at night. My sister and I were like, trying to get to the bathroom in Taiwan, and they're flying at us, and we're screaming. Wake up the next morning, ticks all over the wall. It's very third world, so my mom likes to keep a very clean house. So, boom, there went my natural Mowgli part of me. It's like, nope, I'm going to be clean and tidy now. And so now I always have wet wipes on me. I always have hand sanitizer on me. I don't like being sticky or cold or wet or anything like that. I could never be naked and afraid. No.
Can never do it.
No. I can't even fast.
Thinking about fasting.
Made me
makes you
eat.
wanna eat.
Shay went on fasting 5 days out of 7. And I ate for him because I'm an empath. And so I ended up feeling your starvation. Oh, just see, I'm salivating. And I end up eating a lot of food for you because I care. Because I care.
Because you care.
Because I care. I was so
As
hungry
I
for you.
As I was suffering.
You were suffering. So yeah, toxic energy. How do you get it out of you? It starts here. Our minds are so strong. We can create a state of mind, a perspective, and shut down our feelings, So instead of letting somebody else's feelings change who you are, change your perspective and recognize, become aware of when it's happening. Even if you feel that exchange happen, you're like, no, you didn't. And now it sticks with you. And all day you replay it in your head. Allow yourself to just take a moment and replay it in your head. Ew, I don't like that mustache. And just react how you really, truly, instinctively would react. Fuck you, bitch. He would never, because I'm his mother-in-law. But You understand what I'm saying, right? Don't let it bother you. And if that means you have to get into a meditative state, and when you're playing it over, imagine how you would want to truly respond, even if it's beating the shit out of someone. Whatever happens in the matrix, that's in your mind, that's here, right? It's in your meditative state. Do it, beat the shit out of somebody, and then rewind it, do it again, and now handle it from a place of calm and assertiveness.
It's like a virtual rage room,
Yes,
like a mental rage room, rather.
yes. You want to release the energy, and you can do that in the dream state. And I liken the dream state to the meditative state. That's what we're trying to achieve when we meditate. We're trying to get into that dream state. There's a lot of healing that can take place in the dream state.
So there were like 3 parts to that. Number 1 was visualizing. Number 2 was repeating as many times as necessary. But the third part of that was doing it right.
You have to
At the
end
of it.
on the light, in the light way.
So what happens if you don't?
Then I would continue to give yourself 3 days to try it again. Find another way. If beating the crap out of them doesn't help, that might not be true to your nature. I'm an Aries. I love beating the shit out of people in the dream state. I grew up playing with demons, right? But for a Pisces, they might need to go in the dream state and be like, you hurt my feelings. You hurt me. Right? And in your mind, you can control what that other person says, right? In your mind, you can be like, Janet, I didn't like that. You hurt my feelings. I was trying to be cool. Well, Shay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I hurt you. I'm sorry. I take it back. I think it's so pretty.
And now we're both Southern Belles.
Right? You can change that in your mind. And the energy, if you do it correctly, could change the perspective, could shift that toxic moment out of your mindset. That's what we want to do. You want to set the tone for how you want to become. And the best way to do that is to not let other people's opinions and judgments influence you. Not influence you, penetrate you.
And if they need help, they can contact you.
After 3 days, if you can't shift it out of you, then you need to seek a professional that works with souls. That's me. Good.
All right, awesome.
Good.
Very good.
What'd you think?